Stay with Southwest here. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We had a little bit of technical difficulties here. We have been talking the whole time, but we'll reintroduce ourselves now. I'm Anthony Gallo, and I'm alongside Joe D'Agostino. And it's actually been a relatively good game here through the first 4.5 minutes or so, Joe. Right now, Southwest leads Capitol Courts here, 11-8, potential to go up by 4 here. Joe, thoughts on the game so far for the viewers that haven't been listening?
Well, I think the key for Southwest going into this game was to stop Marissa Russell, make her facilitate, make her pass, whether that's through doubling or just kind of making sure she's in a position where she doesn't get what she wants offensively. And that's what they've done. She's only taken one shot. She's gone to the free throw line once. But other than that, they're forcing other players on the court to beat them, and they haven't so far.
I would challenge that with saying Marissa Russell is very, very patient with her game. She's very smooth with it, so it's still very early in this game. Expect her to catch a little heat as the game progresses.
Yeah, it's usually not if, but when
Yeah.
will she get it going. And, you know, when you average 25 points and are the leading scorer on the women's side in the OSBA, you're bound to eventually get the looks you want. And it's been a little interesting because they haven't really doubled her yet, and she still hasn't really kind of taken advantage of that by driving. But she's passing the ball now, but we expect her to eventually start taking this game over offensively.
Tough shot that time off the side of the backboard. And Riddick going to take it up. Here's Sierra Baugh. Great defense that time. The up and under, though, gets it to go. Beautiful shot that time by Sierra Baugh. Good ball moving by Southwest. Baseline block that time. Katie Butts getting there on the help defense. We see Hilton take a seat here for the first time today.
15 seconds on the shot clock.
Inbound here. Payne with the ball. Payne going baseline. Cut off. Nice pass inside. No good. That was a good shot, though. Butts plays it out to Russell. Russell going in strong. Oh, beautiful move that time by the reigning MVP. All tied up here, under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Stewart nearly loses the ball. Stewart gonna let it fly from deep again. No good, but they get their own offensive board. Riddick has the matchup now. Stewart, shot fake. Floater in the lane, not strong enough that time. And it looks like it's gonna stay with Southwest.
And Alexis Stewart, who's already hit 2 massive three-pointers for Southwest. Driving inside that time, just didn't really have the touch, but they'll keep possession and an opportunity to take this lead back. And even though it's a tie game, that's where you want to be if you're the underdog, and that's what Southwest is in this game. Just keep yourself in this game and give yourself a chance as the game moves forward and closer to the end.
And Southwest taking no chances here. Lamaya Hill. Payne missed a wide open layup down low. No good that time, and Russell comes down with a strong board. Capitol Courts is out and running. Russell to Riddick. The hesitation, baseline inside. Great pass to Baugh. Beautifully done that time by Capitol Courts, Joe.
And that's just a little too easy, especially if you're not going to be doubling anyone on the court. You shouldn't be able to get that wide open inside the paint.
Bediako with the screen, the switch. Hilton uses the body, and they're going to call an offensive foul. I thought that was great body contact there, but the ref with a difference in opinion.
And we've seen that kind of on both ends so far. Mr. Russell kind of got called for the same thing on the flip side. So seems like they're playing a little bit tighter to the whistle here. They're not letting a lot of contact go inside the paint.
Paquette to Russell, who's yet to sit. Crossover. That's her sweet spot right there, and she makes no mistake about it. Did a great job that time. Coming off the screen and hitting the jump shot. Hilton. A little too strong that time. Here comes Sierra Baugh. Baugh met at the half-court line. Russell gonna let it fly for 3. Gets it to go again. Marissa Russell starting to gain some steam here.
Yeah, and just like that, after having a quiet first half in this quarter, all of a sudden she's starting to get hot.
Corner three, off the back of the iron. Here comes Riddick in Capitol Courts. Riddick not slowing down, going right in there and gets it to go. Beautifully done in transition that time by Hannah Riddick.
And this is a dangerous run for Southwest Academy. You're starting to get cold on the offensive end, and your defense is starting to let up.
Emily Payne to Stewart. Good shot fake. No foul that time. Looked like there was a lot of contact. Good transition defense, and back comes Southwest. Hilton, a lot of space here. Doesn't take it. Floater on the baseline, gets it to go.
That was a much-needed basket for Southwest Academy, who was starting to struggle just getting anything in the basket. For their best player to hit a shot there, that's huge for them.
Russell somehow gets it to go. Great body control in the air.
And it just seems so easy for her to just get what she wants on the court, especially with no doubles right now. All you have to do is set a screen for her, and she's gonna put in the work on the inside.
Bediako with the screen. There's a switch. Good first step. Blocked by Russell. She's getting it done on both ends of the floor.
And Marissa Russell, 5.3 steals per game. An incredible number for a player who's so electric on the offensive end. To be able to produce on the defensive end as well is unbelievably impressive.
Yeah, Louisville's got to be happy with what they have coming to their school next year. She takes her first rest of the game, and well-deserved at that.
And this will be, again, I've said it already, this is a key stretch for Southwest Academy. Marissa Russell, who's going to be taking a seat. You're down by 9 points. If you could try to cut this down by the time she gets back in, that could give you a good shot maybe leading into halftime.
Cockfield back out to Payne. Deep range three, no good that time. Looks like it's going to stay with Southwestern, it is.
Southwest ball. 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Inbound to Payne. Inside the Payne. Soft touch on the floater that time. 23-16, coming up on a minute to play here in the opening quarter. Game 3 of the quarterfinals here at Ryerson University. We're in Kerr Hall West today. We'll be at the Mattamy Athletic Center tomorrow. Turks to hit it out. Make sure you tune into OSBA TV tomorrow. Me and Joe will be on all 4 calls tomorrow. Got a busy day tomorrow, but it's going to be a lot of fun, Joe.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great day because there's gonna be a ton of great games that we're gonna be calling. Basically, we have 4 games that we know could maybe go either way, especially with some of the controversy with a couple of teams' players missing. You never know what can happen in a single game elimination tournament. It could be anyone's ball game.
Payne now with the ball. Cockfield going to let it fly from deep. Gets it to go in the basket that time. And Southwest starting to make a little bit of a run here after falling down by 9. Riddick with the ball. Strong drive inside. Short that time. Held ball coming here. Should be Capitol Courts ball, and it will be.
Jump ball will go to Capitol Court.
And this has somewhat been an issue for Capitol Courts all season long, is when Marissa Russell's not really getting it going offensively, someone else has to kind of step up and be that leading scorer, especially when she's sitting down on the bench.
Number 5, Lydia Melashenko.
Melashenko back into the game now. Still got to get a shot off here. Shot clock at 14, game clock at 18. Just going to stay with CCA here.
Foul number 11 tomorrow. That's our first personal foul. Team foul number 3.
Oh, what a smart play, knocking it off. The inbounder knocking it off the player's back. Well aware that time. Shot, no good. 5 seconds to go in the quarter. Fighting for the ball. Looks like they're going to be another held ball, and this should be Southwest possession.
Jump ball will go to Southwest. Shot clock is turned off. 1.5 seconds in the quarter.
Alexis Stewart back into the game, and Hilton to back in the game as well for this inbound. She's got to get it off. And that's going to be the end of the quarter. Good defensive possession on the inbound that time by Capital Courts. You're watching the OSBA playoffs. Stick around for second quarter action. Welcome back to the OSBA Final 8 alongside Joe D'Agostino, Anthony Gallo on hand. And we had a good game here in the first quarter, Joe, between Capital Courts and Southwest Academy, but an unerrant turnover that time by the reigning MVP, Marissa Russell.
And I think early on what was making Southwest Academy stay in this game and kind of take that early lead was Marissa Russell. She was facilitating. She was trying to get her teammates good looks, which is fine because they were starting to make them kind of near the end. But once she started taking over offensively is when the game turned. And then when she sat is when Southwest was able to get back. So it's all predicated on how Marissa Russell plays in this game.
And she steals the ball right back. A beautiful up and under that time by Riddick. Gets her own offensive rebound. Russell back up top. Nice. Jump shot, can't get it to go. Alexis Stewart now going to bring it out for Southwest. Hilton with the ball. Reach and foul that time.
Foul on number 10, Rachel Newman. That's her first personal foul. Team foul number 1.
Can't get it inbounded. Hilton guarded by Newman now up top. Calling for a screen. Trying to split the defenders. And another foul on the floor. It's going to be on Newman once again. 2 quick fouls here to start off the second quarter.
Foul on number 8, Cassandra. That's her first personal foul. Team
Oh, sorry. They're calling it on Cassie Jolliker. And now they're calling holding on the floor. 3 quick fouls here. Start off the quarter, Joe. We're not even a minute in. 2 fouls away now from the bonus.
And that's coming off a quarter where kind of the whistle wasn't heard too much. Only a couple calls, and it was offensive fouls. We didn't hear much other than that.
Substitutions coming on in for Northwest. Emily Payne.
Marissa Russell leading all scorers right now with 11 points. She had a big first quarter. Shooting the ball on her.
And that felt like a quiet 11 too.
Yeah, it
didn't
did.
get her, she didn't get going until late.
Hilton once again trying to split the defenders. Does and gets it to go. That was beautifully done. Maybe a little bit of luck on that, but whatever works, Joe.
And we talk a lot about Marissa Russell, and rightfully so, but Maya Hilton, she is a second-team All-Star. She is one of the best players in the OSBA, and she's going to have to start getting going in the second quarter.
Speaking of Hilton, racing up the court now. Step back. Mid-range jumper, too short that time. They keep it in, but sorry, the ref said she stepped on the line.
Capital Courts ball. Substitutions coming on in. Isabella Goudet to enter the ball game.
Got it. Inbounded now. Capital Courts with the 4-point lead here. Riddick looking to go to work in the high post. Russell, great find to Riddick. Short that time, hit the front of the iron, and back comes Hilton and Southwest. Great transition defense that time. Hilton going in strong. Met at the rim. Gatto. What a find. Russell in the corner. No good. Riddick on the offensive board and draws the foul and gonna head to the line for two.
And that was a great find, finding Russell in the corner. She wasn't able to make the shot, but to get to the free throw line off the fast break opportunity, great sign for Capital Courts.
Personal foul, team foul number 1. On the line, shooting 2, Hannah Riddick.
Riddick on the year, 68% free throw shooter. Got there quite a bit this year. Good on the first.
And Hannah Riddick, if Marissa Russell is going to be passing the ball a little bit more, forced to pass the ball a little more, she'll have to be one of those players to kind of step up and capitalize on those opportunities. She's averaging over 10 points a game, one of the few players on their team that averages over 10.
Could have been a foul called easily that time on Riddick. Stewart with the ball. Cockfield in the corner, no good. And Russell again with the big board. Russell with some space, another find in the corner. This time it falls. Big shot that time by Melashenko. Just like that, the lead's extended to 9 once again. Matching the largest lead of the day so far. Emily Payne loses the ball. Gatto to Riddick. Russell gonna let it fly. No good that time. A smart play that time. It's gonna stay with Capital Courts. Southwest wants to talk it over. We're gonna take a quick break here. You're watching the OSBA Final 8 Championships. Welcome back to the OSBA Final 8 High School Championships quarterfinal action here. Third game of 4 today. We saw Crestwood and Niagara Prep go through to the next round. Whoever wins this game will face Niagara Prep tomorrow afternoon. Sorry, Saturday afternoon. I stand corrected there. Hilton with the ball, guarded by Riddick. Splitting the defenders once again. She's been doing that all night. Stewart with a clean look here. No good. Saw her make 2 of those in the first quarter. Doubled in the back. Russell. Strong move. A lot of contact, no foul. Hilton, strong move. No good. Great defense that time, once again by Capitol Courts. Gatto. Give and go. Gatto going in. Riddick, strong move again. No good. She earned herself a trip to the line for 2.
And right now, both teams kind of inside the game, not getting to the foul line, have struggled to find a basket. And the difference is that CCA, they have been able to get to the line a couple of times in this game, even though it seems like they've gotten a little bit more calls on the defensive end. Southwest Academy just hasn't been able to get to the line or kind of make their last couple of shots.
Riddick 2 of 2 at the line tonight. No good. Keep saying tonight, but realizing it's the afternoon. We're so used to calling games in the evening, Joe. I keep saying tonight.
You know, it's almost 5 o'clock. It's getting closer to being dark.
You're being too nice, Joe. It's barely 4 o'clock. Hilton. Cockfield going baseline. Nice find inside to Bediako. Short of the basket. And it's going back the other way.
And this game kind of feels a little interesting because it doesn't feel like Capitol Courts is up by 10, but it's just been those little flurries that they've had where they've maybe scored 5 straight or scored 6 straight. And Southwest, they really haven't done that so far. Usually it's back and forth, and then Capitol Courts is able to maybe make a little bit of a dent in their lead.
And Riddick, again, has been a problem all afternoon so far for Southwest, especially in the interior.
Yeah, this is going to be her 3rd time getting to the line already in this quarter. And we mentioned before that this is a team that kind of struggles to get any kind of offense going when it's not predicated by Marissa Russell. So for Hannah Riddick to kind of get going early in this first half is huge for them, and huge for maybe this tournament if they're able to advance.
Riddick missed that time. 6:08 remaining in the half. She gets 1 of 2 to go at the line. Stewart racing up court now for Southwest. Cockfield with the ball. Baseline. Great interior defense that time. Stolen. And stolen right back. Bediako comes away with it. Inside, Bediako. Too strong. Gets her own rebound. Finally gets it to go. Russell finds Riddick. Back to Russell on the other side. Russell for 3. No good. And thrown out of bounds that time by Gatto. Isabella Gatto coming in on the year averaging 12 points per game, but on top of that, this year was awarded the Sportsmanship Award. High honor going to Isabella Gatto. Bediako back to Stewart. A lot of space here. Bediako, good. Well run play that time.
Yeah, that's a couple possessions in a row where Bediako kind of wanted the ball on the inside, and she was able to make them pay.
Gatto. No good that time, and Riddick again on the offensive rebound gets it to go. Southwest has no answers for Riddick right now. Bediako coming for the screen. Cockfield, too strong of a pass that time. Under 5 minutes to go now in the half. Russell, corner. Gatto gets it to go from the right corner.
And that's just too easy. If these shots are starting to get made by Capitol Courts, if Marissa Russell is facilitating and it's working, they are going to be an absolute problem for whoever they have to face.
12-point lead now for Capitol Courts, the largest of the afternoon, I should say. Stewart Net in the backcourt. Nice find inside. Payne gets it to go. Great facilitating that time by Alexis Stewart, able to penetrate and feed Payne. Another right corner shot. In and out that time by Ghetto. Stewart comes away with it, pushing the pace. Baseline floater, gets it to go.
That's a tough shot.
Yeah, Steinbricker gets it to go. That was, like you said, that was maybe not the highest percentage shot she could take, but it works. Back to a single-digit game, 37-29. Capital Courts leads Southwest Academy. Welcome back to OSBA Final 8 High School Championships here at Ryerson University as Ghetto misses another three after making one a couple shots ago. Steinbricker held up by Gatto, playing great on-ball defense. Payne met by the double and an offensive foul here. Used her forearm to shove off Marissa Russell.
Offensive foul on number 15, Emily Payne. That's her first personal foul. Team foul number 4.
Treya Paquette to take it up now for Capital Courts. Here's Russell calling for a screen. Open shot once again. Marissa Russell has really turned to a playmaker this quarter.
And you can tell just how much pressure they're putting right when that screen comes. All the bodies just flood to her, and it leads to a wide open player in the corner.
And Paquette picks up a quick foul here.
Foul number 19, Treya Paquette. That's her first personal foul. Team foul.
Big substitution coming in now for Southwest. Hilton to inbound. Stewart up top, guarded by Ba. Stewart with a crossover. Hilton, strong move. Gets it to go, but that was great help defense that time by Russell. Just even better offense by Hilton. Back on the other end. Russell trying to break down her defender, mid-range shot. Too strong that time, and Stewart comes away with it.
And that was solid defense by Alexis Stewart, just not letting her drive past her, just make her shoot the mid-range.
Oh, quick first step. And 2 shots coming here. That's been working so far in this first half for Lamaya Hilton, able to break down the defense and get inside.
Shooting 2, Lamaya Hilton.
No good on the first. Hilton on the year, 69% free throw shooter. She got there about 139 times on the year, Joe. Hilton, clear lane, missed. I think she overthought that one.
And those are the shots that you want to kind of come away with this win here, you're going to have to make.
You can't afford to miss those, especially after missing 2 free throws. Russell guarded by Stewart. Diamike was calling for it. No good. Offensive rebound. Paquette gets the second try to go. The lead is ballooned back to 11. Hilton, cross court. Stewart, strong drive. Can't get the friendly roll that time. Southwest needs a stop. Russell picks up her dribble. Here's Gatto in the corner. Brings it back out top. Spin move by Ba. And they're going to call a travel that time. Great defense by Lamaya Hilton.
Yeah, just standing her ground, not really giving into the fake there and forcing a travel, essentially. You said that they needed to stop, but I think that they desperately need a bucket here, especially after a couple possessions where you miss both free throws, you give up a shot where you would make maybe 99 times out of 100, and here they give a turnover. This is just a rough patch here for Southwest Academy.
No good, Russell. He's going to head to the line for two, and these final 90 seconds for Southwest is huge here. You want to get momentum going into the second half because from so far it seemed this quarter that Capital Courts is playing at their pace.
Yep, absolutely. And, I mentioned earlier that it doesn't feel like Capital Courts is up by 10 or 11, but it's starting to kind of feel that way, that they are starting to kind of dominate on the defensive end. They haven't been fantastic offensively, but when Marissa Russell is driving to the basket, usually it's successful, and when she's facilitating to the corners, they're actually making their threes, so that's a huge plus for CCA, and on the defensive end, they've always been championship level.
Hilton might have got away with the travel that time. Steinbrecher again, no good, and Gatto with the rebound. Newman back to Paquette, pushing the pace, inside to Ba, and draws the foul that time. Payne whacked her across the arm. It's just too easy right now for Capital Courts getting into the paint.
It kind of feels like they're spiraling a little bit. They missed the wide open three on the other end, a little slow to get back. They force another foul. They're starting to get to the free throw line a lot more often. Southwest, they need to kind of just figure out, kind of calm the game down, slow it down, make sure you kind of play at your level. Play a little bit more loose. It feels like they're a little tight out there right now. They're not really kind of playing the defense maybe they want to play, and I think they might be forcing those threes. Drive to the basket. Try to get to the free throw line. Try to get some easy looks for yourself.
1 of 2 at the line. Stewart. Open shot here for Steinbrecher again. And misses it. 2 great shots there for Steinbrecher in a row, and off the mark on both, and those are baskets that they desperately need right now, Joe.
And I think even though they're open, and you're right, it is a good look, it might be more beneficial. Fake the three, drive to the basket, try to get something even easier than that, because the three's not going down for them in this quarter, so try to make it a little bit, simplify your game a little bit more. Let them bite and then drive to the basket.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, averaged just under 7 points on the year, but a 64.5% free throw shooter as well. She's been a big difference so far too today, I should say, in the paint. Southwest just has had no answer really on the interior. And nearly stolen once again, and the ball. A little bit of a dangerous object when it gets deflected the wrong way there into the crowd. Hilton with a strange play that time. Didn't want to commit the 5-second violation, but turned it over regardless. Gatto to Paquette for 3. Short that time off the front of the iron. And Stewart comes away with it. Long pass. And Paquette with the steal. Newman. Euro step. Looks like they're going to call offensive foul.
Offensive foul, number 10, Rachel Newman. That's her 3rd personal foul.
Hilton. Screen coming now for Hilton. Open shot once again in the corner. And this time Steinbrecher gets it to go.
Ball, Haley Steinbrecher. Hilton with the assist.
Diakate loses the ball, but off the Southwest player. 15.5 seconds to go. A 0.5 second difference between game clock and shot clock. Lime Capital Courts, I'll hold it here for the final shot. 13-point game. Inside, quick one, no good. Now Southwest has an opportunity for a final shot if they get it across half court. Dangerous pass, and Riddick cuts it off. Riddick's got to let it go. Riddick for three, no good. And that'll be the end of the half. 13-point lead here for Capital Courts over Southwest Academy. You've been watching the OSBA Final 8 High School Championships right here at Ryerson University. Welcome back to OSBA Final 8 action. Second half getting started here. 47-34, Capital Courts leads Southwest, and Capital Courts really put their foot on the gas near the end of that first half, Joe.
And what was so surprising is that Marissa Russell scored 0 points in that second quarter. She was dishing the balls to the corners. They were hitting their threes, and shots like that need to go in for Southwest to get themselves back in this game.
That's exactly what they needed to do here to start off this third quarter. Alexis Stewart hit 2 threes in that first quarter and then went cold in the second. Good to see her get a hot start here. Russell can't respond that time, and she gets it to go on the offensive board. Hilton, quick first step here, passes out of it. Stewart again gonna try her luck, in and out. Diakate. Russell on the give and go, turns it over that time. Behind the back, Hilton loses it off her foot, regains possession, and that's gotta be a travel, and it is, double dribble I should say. I think if you're Hilton, you just gotta be more aware on that possession that you can't afford turnovers like that. Melashenko to Russell. Russell going to work. Great find in the corner to Gatto. Too strong on that attempt. And here comes Stewart. The hesitation move now goes to the rim and draws the foul. Riddick picks it up.
That was great patience to kind of get to the basket, not slow things down, but instead to push the pace.
Foul on number 7, Anna Riddick. That's her first personal foul. Team foul number 1.
Riddick picking up her first of the day.
Alexis Stewart.
And Stewart got on the second. 11-point game. Gatto being picked up now by Alexis Stewart. Melashenko, Russell looking to go to work in the post. A lot of contact that time, and gets hacked across the arm on the fadeaway.
And that was really the first time we've seen Russell kind of post up there and just kind of take something on the interior, and immediately drawing a foul, getting 2 opportunities at the line. That is, I think, something that we might see a lot of from CCA in this second half.
An interesting move here by Southwest after that post up there. Bediako coming right into the game immediately. Perhaps a little bit worried about the size mismatch down low. Russell, 6-foot guard, class of 2020. Of course, we've mentioned many times today. Committed to Louisville a couple months ago. I think Louisville's getting one of the best players in all of North America, really, and maybe all of the world right now for her age class.
Yeah, she was fantastic this year. She was fantastic last year, the MVP, not the reigning MVP anymore, as Laya Edwards is now the MVP on the women's side, but she's been fantastic her entire time here in the OSBA and her entire basketball career, really.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they make it to the finals once again. It's gonna be an interesting matchup. Of course, you got the 2 powerhouses. As there's another foul on the floor that time. You got a couple powerhouses in Crestwood and in Niagara Prep, and Capital Courts is yet to beat either of those teams this year. But they did face off against Niagara Prep early in the year. I had a chance to call that game, and they played great defense on them. They just couldn't put the ball in the net. So, you know, anytime you have a player like Marissa Russell, the reigning MVP on your team, anything is possible. Losing the finals only by 1 point last year to an undefeated Crestwood team, I think, you know, with a little bit of luck and your shots going down, I think Capital Courts has as good of a chance as anyone.
And obviously they still have to get through Southwest, who's kind of hanging in this game, but what I think is even a better sign for Capital Courts moving forward in this tournament, if they're able to advance, is the fact that they've been able to kind of keep this lead without Russell really kind of dominating on the offensive end, because you're right, Marissa Russell, she's fantastic and she can dominate and take over a game, but it's going to take maybe even more than that to beat those teams in front of them.
Russell now with the ball, going in strong, loses it, gets tied up, and they're going to call it jump ball. Bit of a quick whistle, but it's going to be possession, Capital Courts. Katie Butts into the game. Floater gets it to go. Hilton, oh, great hesitation move, strong, blocked by Russell.
And that's just a great offensive player making a great move, but then just matched with unbelievable defense by still another great player in Marissa Russell.
She turned Riddick right around into that screen. 12-point game, 7:19 remaining in the third quarter. Inside pass, Bediako. As easy of a shot she's gonna get, as she's gonna get. Russell calling out the half-court set here. Inside, nearly turned over. Baugh comes away with it. Paquette. Russell one-on-one with Hilton, calling for the isolation. Step back, mid-range. No good. It looked like Hilton got a piece of that one, Joe.
Yep, and they're going to say that she did because they're going to keep possession.
Should be shot clock violation, however, though. Didn't look like it hit the rim. If you're Capital Courts now, you got to be thankful that you have this lead, because like we mentioned multiple times now, Russell has gone cold from the field shooting-wise. Steinbrinker. Hilton. Going to get her offensive game going again. Strong move. Draws the foul. Going to head to the line for two.
And with that being said, though, Anthony, continuing to keep Southwest in this game, giving them an opportunity to just hang in there, hitting into that, halfway here at the point in the third quarter, going into the fourth. This is, to me, if I was on Southwest Academy, if I was a coach on Southwest Academy, this is exactly where I would want to be. If you told me you're down 10 points with 6 minutes left in the third against Capital Courts, I'd be unbelievably happy with that, because you're just in there, and that all it takes is maybe one little run, and you can make this a really exciting competitive game near the end.
2 of 2 at the line that time. It's within single digits now, Joe. It's lots of time to go, 6:39 in the third quarter. Just need a few bounces to go their way. And you got to keep Marissa Russell under control here, because this lead has an opportunity to balloon out of control. Baugh with the beautiful pass, and that was way too easy on the interior. Stewart. Inside, turned over once again. Russell, strong move. Can't get it to go once again.
And that was great transition defense. Just everyone got back, making sure, even off of the turnover, they're not going to get anything easy.
Foul number 13. That's
It's like Haley Steinberger coming up limping a bit here. Hilton into the game again after another short rest. Looks like the coach doesn't want to keep her on the bench too long here.
And I don't expect her to rest too much the rest of this game. At the end of the day, this could be the final game of the season, right? And you have to go out swinging, and Hilton is potentially your best player, and you need her on the court to get back in this game.
I don't think there's a question about who the best player on Southwest is. I believe it is Lamaya Hilton's second team all OSBA this year. Turned over, and Gatto with the steal. Slows it down smartly here. Russell with a lot of space. Crossover in the lane. Finally takes the lid off the rim, Marissa Russell.
And maybe that's what gets her going here in this third quarter.
After going 4 of 5 in the first quarter, finally getting her 5th field goal made here. Hilton, finds some space. Good shot that time by Lamaya Hilton. High percentage, mid-range bucket. They're staying within it. They just can't find a way to stop Capital Courts in the paint right now.
Yeah, right now just a lot of back and forth, 8-point lead, 10-point lead, 12-point lead, kind of just staying in that range.
Everything coming easy for them. Capital Courts missing that time. You're Southwest, you want to take advantage of this. Cut it within single digits.
Substitutions coming on in. Alexis Stewart and Emily will come into the ballgame. Coming in for the
Stewart bringing it up, lots of space. Bediako, thought she shuffled her feet that time, no call. Get out of Paquette, dangerous pass. Riddick. Good patience and
Out of bounds.
it's hit out of bounds, but Capital Courts will keep the ball.
Substitutions coming on in for Southwest, number 11.
Hilton
Mara
coming out.
Popovich. In for number 10, Maya Hilton.
Clean look that time and no mistake about it. Lydia Melashenko gets it to go from the mid-range back up to a 12-point game. Under 5 minutes to go now in the third quarter. Stewart just comes away with it. We're going to slow it down once again. Isabella Gadot putting the clamps on now. Bediako, tough pass inside. They're going to call a foul on Melashenko down low.
Foul number 5.
And now they're over the limit here. 2 free throws coming for Emily Payne.
The team foul number 5.
That's big for Southwest. They got to make those free throws. Every basket's important here.
Absolutely, and with Marissa Russell out of the game right now, they took out Lamaya Hilton, so a little bit of gamesmanship there, just kind of making sure that when one star is off the court, the other one is off as well, kind of match that resting period.
And Joe, down 12, can't afford to miss 2 free throws like that.
Jump ball will stay with Southwest.
Southwest getting bailed out here on the jump ball possession for them.
Timeout on the floor.
Timeout coming here.
Charges Southwest.
Southwest wants to talk it over. You're watching the OSBA. Welcome back to Final 8 action here. Alexis Stewart with the confident shot that time. No good from three-point land. Melashenko with the pass outside to Gadot. A wide open Riddick here, decides not to take it. Strong drive inside. That was beautifully done from the corner right to the rim. Riddick gets it to go.
And I love that even though she had that look on the outside, she drove inside the paint. She's been successful getting to the line almost this entire game, and it was smart for her to once again kind of attack where she's been successful.
And another foul here, and if you're Southwest, got to take advantage of these free shots coming to them. They've not been consistent at all today with their free throw shots.
And this is kind of a part in the game where with Russell kind of sitting on the bench, you have to take advantage of these minutes, and right now you've had opportunities at the free throw line that you couldn't make, free possessions off kind of just, you know, a lucky bounce that you weren't able to capitalize into points. These are really, really crucial moments in the game here for Southwest Academy.
No good. And a fight for the ball once again. Should be Capital Courts possession here. And it looks that way.
Jump ball will go with Capital Courts Academy. Substitutions coming on in. Number 13, Marissa Russell.
So right here on the baseline, got the Orangeville Prep Bears walking in. Of course, they'll be in action tomorrow morning. Early start against Rise Prep. They'll kick off the men's quarterfinals tomorrow. And They had a great season this year, Joe, winning all 19 of their games,
Not
0
too
losses.
bad. That's not too bad.
Hey. Of course, Tony McIntyre coming off Coach of the Year, well-deserved, and two players on their team on the first OSBA on all, what am I saying here, first team all OSBA. Of course, Matthew Alexander Moncrief, who just committed to Oklahoma State University as well. Big congrats to him. And, of course, Coleman Stuka, both on the OSBA, all first team. Well-deserved as well. Melashenko, guarded by Steinbrinker. Russell, a lot of space here. Marissa Russell, that's the easiest look she's got all night.
Yeah, that's just way, way, way too easy at this point in the game.
Turned over once again. And this is getting out of hand now. Russell, nice pass, but they're going to call a charge. Well done that time by Alexis Stewart to sacrifice her body.
And right now, 3 minutes left in this third quarter. This just kind of seems like it's a point in the game where something's kind of got to give, especially for Southwest Academy. You're down by 15 points. Obviously, if they're down by 15 going into the fourth, the game's not over, but it does kind of feel like the sense of urgency needs to pick itself up here nearing the end of this this third period, and they need to figure out how to get the ball in the basket consistently, because they've been getting some good looks and they make their shots every now and then, but it's just a consistent every single time going down the basket, taking smart shots.
Bediako spinning inside with the drop step. A little bit of a out of control attempt that time.
And I think on that possession too, you can kind of just look at the situation of that just seems more like a forced shot. You know, you're really early in the shot clock. You're not really trying to design. You're not really designing a play to get it to your best player. They need to figure something out offensively, and I think it starts with a player like Lamaya Hilton or Alexis Stewart.
Ba wants it in the post. She's got it on the high post. Step back shot. No good that time. Rebound to Paquette and shot clock violation. 2:14 remaining in the third quarter. 64-49, Capital Courts leads Southwest. Hilton, the court guarded by Hannah Riddick. Hilton spinning off. Nice find. And the made basket that time by Kelly Cockfield. Off the assist from Lamaya Hilton. Riddick looking to respond here. Dribbled off the knee. Should be a backcourt violation. And it is. 12-point game here, Southwest. It's final minute 46 here at the end of the third quarter. You want to put something together here, gain some momentum, at least cut it within single digits before going to the fourth quarter.
And it's been one of those like just weird games where you're kind of stuck at this certain point. They finally get it to 15, and then that's when they make the three to bring it back to 12. They've just been stuck in that 8 to 12 range, it feels like, for most of this game, and it's going to take a run, a consistent run on the offensive and defensive end for Southwest.
Stewart, wild shot, almost gets it to go.
And that would have been a massive momentum gainer for Southwest Academy. She can finish it, but she will get to go to the line here.
On the line, shooting to Alexis Stewart.
Stewart good on the first. Chance to cut it within 10 now if she makes this next free throw. And she does.
Substitutions coming in for Southwest, number 23.
After making those two free throws, Stewart going to take a rest. Might be her last rest of the game as we head into the fourth quarter, potentially. Well, for one of these teams, it's going to be the last game of the season for them. A lot of contact down low with Riddick and Cockfield in the paint. Sierra Ba. Nearly stolen. Riddick comes away with it. Gotta let it go. Paquette, too strong. And Sierra Ba gets it to go and the foul.
And that's just such a disheartening possession for Southwest Academy. You play great defense. You force a tough shot. then you can't get the rebound and you give them an and one opportunity. Capital Courts has just been so good at just maintaining their lead, not giving up runs, staying consistent, or consistent enough, I should say, just to make sure that, could the lead potentially be 20 or 24 if they played better basketball? Of course, but they're doing what needs to be done to just keep this game rolling in their favor.
And that's a sign of a championship experienced team. They've been here before. They've done it. Of course, like we mentioned multiple times now, falling 1 point short of the championship last year to Crestwood. And you got to think, Joe, that's got to be on their minds every game
100%.
this whole year, trying to redeem themselves, and they got a great chance to do so this year. Tied up, Alexis Stewart. Cockfield blocked by Baugh. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Diakate with the block. Now Baugh is guarding Hilton. Screen coming, step back. It wouldn't have counted anyways. Seen Capital Courts really tighten up their defense here in the last minute or so.
That's what they've been doing all year, and they're just built to play great defense and then feed your best player, and it's been successful enough. They're 16-3. They've only lost to the tippy top of the OSBA on the women's side.
Foul here, reaching from behind.
Foul at number 13, Kelly Cockfield. That's her first personal foul. Team foul number 3.
Baugh going to work. And Diakate again with the offensive rebound and basket.
Yeah, that's been killing Southwest near the end of this third quarter here, those offensive rebounds.
And a turnover once again, 69-54 with 36 seconds to go when you thought Southwest was getting some momentum here. Cut it within 10.
Yeah, they had that quick 5-0 run, cut it back to 10, and then just like that, a couple baskets in a row, a couple sloppy possessions on the offensive end.
Gado into Baugh. That was another high percentage look, just couldn't get it to go. And it's going to go back to Southwest.
Substitutions coming on in for Southwest as Amaya Hilton will enter the ball game.
Hilton bringing out the ball. Gets held up. Stewart for 3, no hesitation. Short of the rim, good closeout by Capital Courts. Paquette. Diak. Baugh inside the line. Too strong. Paquette. Riddick. Great patience that time. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter, able to get it off. 71-54. Capital Courts has taken over this game. You're watching the OSBA Final 8 High School Championships. Fourth quarter action here. Southwest needs a big comeback. Alexis Stewart starting off that comeback the right way, but Joe, she did that at the start of the third quarter and then disappeared for a bit there from three-point range. They need more of that here in this fourth quarter if they want a chance to come back.
Definitely feels like at the beginning of almost every quarter, Alexis Stewart is making a significant play, and she does it on the defensive end with the charge. And we were talking, they need to do something, and hey, this is the perfect way to get it going. Get an offensive on the offensive end, hit a big three, and then take the charge on the other side.
Well, they really have no choice now, Joe. This could be their last quarter of this season so far. You fought to get into the OSBA playoffs. You don't want to go down without a fight. Alexis Stewart picks up her dribble. They keep it in here. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Emily Payne, crossover. No good off glass. Diakate with a great defensive possession that time. They got to get it over half court here, and they just do. They got numbers now. Gado off the front of the iron, and Stewart, the rebound.
And I think what this is what's so important for Southwest Academy. When you get the rebound, you got to push the pace. You have to get down and make sure they're not set in the half court.
But Joe, just like that, what's important, you can't take silly fouls. Kelly Cockfield there with a illegal screen coming up court. They had momentum there and then disappears just like that. Ghetto to Paquette, wide open shot. She makes no mistake about it. Baseline, mid-range Jimmy. Hilton, tough move that time, gets it to go, but not sure if they're. Hilton trying to suggest that it was in the act. Oh, they're going to call it. They're going to call it on the floor, Joe. I'm not sure about that. Looks like she picked up her dribble.
Yeah, it was close.
It was close.
It did look like it could have been it definitely could have been an and one.
We've seen Marissa Russell continuing to sit here. I think coach is doing a smart decision here until I think if Southwest starts to gain some momentum back, then you put Marissa Russell back in. But if not, take advantage of resting her because the rest of this weekend is going to be tough.
I do think, though, that she should see the court again at least one more time before closing this game, just to give her a little bit more of a momentum to build some rhythm if they do have this game go out of hand. You don't want her to sit for too long, and then because they're not playing tomorrow as well. Their next game is Saturday.
Stewart inside. Cockfield with the up and under. No good that time, and once again, you're seeing Capital Court's suffocating defense coming into effect again. Diakate, extra pass to Gado. And looks like it hit the top of the shot clock that time. 8:16 to go here. Just a reminder, stick around next game. King's Christian Collegiate will be taking on Lincoln Prep in the final game of the quarterfinals action. And our semifinals will be set after today. Payne with a shot fake and gets it to go despite three defenders in her face. 16-point game, still lots of time to go here, but you need a lot of defensive stops here. And easy buckets if you're Southwest. You can't give up a shot like this. It's Sierra Baugh once again. Hilton. Three-point shot, no good. Turned over. Cockfield inside to Hilton, gets it to go. Riddick loses the ball, but Stewart commits the reach and foul.
And I think if Capital Courts is able to hold on to this lead here, what's been the most impressive to me, and I haven't been able to watch Capital Courts live in person yet this season, but when you look at the box score and you look at the stat sheets, I don't really think it tells you how great of a team this really is. You look and you say Marissa Russell is averaging 25 points, but we're going to take a quick break, 78-61 for the OSBA playoffs.
courts will inbound.
Welcome back to the OSBA Final 8 high school championships here. Game 3 of 4 of the quarterfinal action, women's division. And it's been all Capital Courts so far here in the second half, Joe.
Yeah, Southwest hasn't really been able to cut into that lead. They've been kind of stagnant, sticking at 10 or 12, but eventually just it's only a matter of time before Capital Courts, if they weren't able to get a consistent run, they were able to pull away.
Alexis Stewart with an easy shot. Didn't even leave her feet that time on the jump shot. 15-point game. Riddick for 3. No good. Emily Payne having trouble getting out, and foul on the floor. Newman picks it up.
Foul on number 10. That's Rachel's 4th personal foul, team foul number 3.
Hilton. Dribbling too much that time, I think, Joe. Riddick now with the ball back for CCA. Good defense that time and a turnover. Travel. Steinbrinker just unaware that time. Didn't take a dribble before she shuffled both feet.
And a part of being really great on these stages where you know that every game means so much more is those little things. And we've mentioned Capital Courts has been here and they've been to the finals. They were so close to winning the championship last year. And even though not every single player is from last year, just that built-in kind of knowing of excellence, knowing that you have to be great on those little things every single game.
Hilton. Bediako went for the screen. She didn't take it. Great control, great body control in the air that time by Lamaya Hilton, once again getting another basket. But to Riddick. Another miss that time from three-point range. Off the hands that time. And another turnover here. And that's been the story of the game, Joe, for Southwest.
And they're going to start playing not only against this incredible Capital Courts defense, they're playing against the clock now too, and a 15-point deficit with almost half of the quarter remaining. This is going to be really difficult. You're going to almost have to play some perfect basketball to crawl your way out of this hole.
And here we go, Marissa Russell back on the floor. I guess better late than never, Joe. Getting some minutes here to close out Southwest, and Alexis Stewart with a clear lane and makes no mistake about it as she banks it off the glass. 13-point game, still over 5 minutes to go here, just about to reach the halfway mark of the fourth quarter. Russell slowing it down. Guarded by Turkstra. Paquette. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Overthrown that time. And another turnover here. Capital Courts with a chance to make an 11-point game or cut it within 10. Bediako with a quick turnaround shot. And if you're Capital Courts here, you got to think about potentially calling a timeout soon. Russell nearly turns it over and gets it to go off glass. The reigning MVP streaking down the court, banking it off the glass. Steinbrinker. Once again, a screen coming here from Bediako. The switch. Oh, nice find inside, but Bediako just couldn't handle. Looks like it went right through her hands that time.
Yeah, it seemed like she almost kind of lost the ball in the air when she turned around.
Bediako gave him good minutes here. A well-deserved rest. If that is her last time on the court before the end of the season, she put in a great effort tonight. 82-69, 4:06 remaining in the fourth quarter. Game 3 of the quarterfinals of the OSBA Final 8 championships. Paquette, the corner to Russell. Diakate drawing foul that time on Bediako.
Foul on number 18, Jada. That's her second personal foul, team foul number 3.
Russell trying to break down her defender, crossover hop step, and draws the foul.
And I think this is why we saw Marissa Russell enter the game with around 5 minutes left. This is just the time for her to take over and close this game for her team. We've seen her facilitate, dish the ball to the corners a lot this game, but since she's come back in this fourth, she is not passing the ball. She's going to the basket.
14 seconds on the shot clock.
Russell up top. Marissa calling for the ISO. Strong move. Oh, hesitation, no good. Trying to draw the foul. Paquette gets it to go with a soft touch in the lane. Capital Courts has just done a great job of closing out Southwest.
Foul on number 19. That's Shreya Paquette, second personal foul, team foul number 4. Timeout on the floor.
Timeout on the floor here. 3:21 remaining. I think if you're Southwest head coach here, you know, it's about playing till the end. They had a great year, finished over 500. Yes, it was an inconsistent year, Joe, but can't hang your hats. You play well through this year, and you try and bounce back next year and come back for it again. A lot of their players are young. They still got a lot of time to go here, Joe. Two of their best players, Lamaya Hilton, class of 2022. Of course, Alexis Stewart's going to be moving on to greater things after this, but a lot of the team is class of 2022, 2023, and they got a good future there in Southwest.
Yeah, they can build off of this game and off of this season, and just being kind of here in the moment, having an opportunity to play a really, really great team. And you know, the scoreboard looks 15-point game. It looks like they weren't in it, but they have been. They've been in it this entire game. It's never been a 26-point, 28-point lead. It's always kind of been in range of them coming back. And you know, 3:21, is the game over? No, but it's going to be really, really, really difficult, and it's hard to kind of envision a comeback here at this point. But like you said, Lamaya Hilton, who's going to be there till 2022, she was a second-team All-Star this season. She has a ton of promise for this team.
I'll tell you right now, I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. If Lamaya Hilton takes that next step next year, like everyone expects her to, I think she might be in the conversation for MVP as well. I wouldn't sleep on her next year being up there amongst one of the best in the OSBA.
And you can kind of see in her game already on the offensive end, just her first step off of her first move, it's just so quick. It seems like she creates so much space with so little movement. She's really a special talent.
And Russell misses. If I had to just critique one thing about Lamaya Hilton's game, I'd love to see her facilitate a little bit more.
Yeah,
we know she's a great scorer. Look at her right now, going in strong. She's got all the offensive moves, and there's a great pass to Alexis Stewart. There's no good that time, but like I said, Lamaya Hilton, still a long way to go and lots of time to progress before potentially taking that next step to post-secondary.
And if you're Capital Courts, you have to be absolutely pleased with how great you played as a team. And just another player making a big shot in a big moment. And Marissa Russell, she's going to be the talk every single game. But this is truly a great collective unit.
Well, going forward now, the next game is going to be the biggest game of the year, obviously, for obvious reasons. But they've yet to beat Crestwood or Niagara Prep. And they're gonna, either way, they're going to have to face those two in the next 2 rounds if they do go forward.
Yep,
and end up winning.
It's gonna be hard to envision if anyone wins this tournament. You're gonna have to go through at least one of Crestwood or Niagara Prep, and that's been the case here with both of them already advancing. And is Capital Courts as great of a team as those two this season? Probably not, but you can't tell me they don't have a shot at winning the whole thing, because the talent's there and the superstar is there.
Listen, yeah, like you said, we've seen on all levels of basketball, high school, college, NBA, WNBA. It's if you have a superstar on your team and they're on, and this is not a game, this is not a series, this is one game.
Yeah.
Anything could happen. If one player catches heat, two players catch heat, you get a little bit of luck on your side. Anything could happen here. That's why I think Capital Courts has good of a chance as anyone in these OSBA playoffs.
Especially a two-way player like Marissa Russell, who
Right.
can play just as great on the defensive end.
No good that time, and it's probably in the back of Marissa's head that, you know, she could have been the two-time OSBA MVP this year. Of course, not trying to take away anything from Aaliyah Edwards. Had one of the best OSBA seasons ever, winning Defensive Player of the Year and winning MVP this year. It's a some pretty prestigious awards there. And a foul there, 1:10 remaining, 87-74 here.
Foul on number 4, Isabella.
Of course, we still have one more game to go after this. Kings Christian Collegiate
Team foul
versus
number
Lincoln
5.
Prep. Both teams having pretty solid years this year.
Lincoln Prep, the only team to beat Crestwood. They were shorthanded, but
They were without Ali Edwards. I think that is that's a big asterisk beside it. But it's not even if you take Ali Edwards off Crestwood, they're still potentially a top 2, top 3 team in the OSBA.
yep. So you know, there's still some. Even though we've seen probably the 3 best teams already in Crestwood, Niagara, and now Capital Courts, there's still some talent to go here in this final matchup. And I do think that this tournament is wide open. I could see any one of those teams just making a run here.
And of course, Lincoln Prep with one of the best head coaches in all of Canada right now, not just the OSBA, and that's Richard Nurse. He's proven it year in and year out that he brings a great team every year. This year, they're a lot more deeper than they have been in years past, and he's made it work. There's no real one superstar on their team this year. They do it as a total collective team effort, and I think that's a big reason why there's a couple banners hanging up in Lincoln Prep's home gym down there in Hamilton.
And I think if anyone would ask what's maybe the key ingredient to, you know, making a run in a tournament or winning a championship in the playoffs, is having great coaching, making sure that your players are disciplined, ready, they play the game the right way, and that's exactly what you need, and that's exactly what Lincoln Prep has.
Rebound here coming up on the final minute of the quarterfinals. This will be the end of the journey of the 2020 season here for Southwest Academy. Steinbrinker short. And CCA looking like they're still playing hard here. Russell with the ball. Slowing things down here. Going baseline. Pulls up. Draws the foul. She'll head to the line for 2 here.
Foul on number 14, Mariama Testra. That's her second personal foul.
Tomorrow we're going to be at the Mattamy Athletic Center just down the street at the old Maple Leaf Gardens, Joe. And last year I had the honor of calling the finals last year and the playoffs, and this year has all the works to be one of the best playoffs we've seen so far in OSBA history.
And I think one of the reasons is it's just such a deep collective base of talent in the OSBA, and all of these teams have their strengths and their weaknesses, and obviously there's going to be favorites, but it does feel like there could be potentially 6, 7, maybe even all 8 teams have a chance at a run if things go their way. And tomorrow I think it's going to be really exciting, and we still have a great game to close out tonight.
Russell misses the free throw. Big difference in emotions right now on both benches. A lot of tears coming from the Southwest side. Yeah, that just shows that you really cared about your teammates. You really put a lot into this season, and they came a long way this year. They had a great year, and you shouldn't hang your hats on it. Losing to a great team like this with a great player, you just got to, like I said earlier in the broadcast, you just got to prepare for next year because there's a great future in the Southwest team. As they get the rebound here, and Russell with a great sportsmanship thing to do and pull it back and let the time run out a bit here. And Russell hands it off there smartly. Not going to commit the turnover here. We saw that the other night in the NBA with Julius Randle trying to do that to a fellow Canadian, RJ Barrett. And I love when players do that. And that'll do it, though, however, Joe. 89-75. Sorry, 1.5 seconds here. And And now that'll do it, 89-75. Capital Courts will be advancing to the next round on Saturday. And they got a chance to really go pretty far here in Southwest. It was a great year. Better luck next year to them. And that'll do it. Stick around for our next game, Lincoln Prep versus King's Christian Collegiate. You're watching the OSBA Final 8 Championships. For Joe D'Agostino, Anthony Gaio. We'll see you next game.